Henry Turner and the Mystery of the Missing Sister. Chapter 6. Breaking the Case. Detective Henry Turner stood before the whiteboard in his office, meticulously organizing all the evidence they had amassed against Charles Montgomery and his criminal network. The room was filled with photographs, documents, and notes, all interconnected with lines and arrows, illustrating the complex web of deceit and illegal activities. It was time to break the case wide open. Henry knew that presenting a solid case in court was crucial. The evidence had to be irrefutable, and the connections between the various crimes had to be clear and undeniable. He began by consolidating the key pieces of evidence. 1. Financial records. The suspicious transactions and offshore accounts linked to Charles Montgomery. 2. Documents from the warehouse. Detailed records of the illegal arms deals and the involvement of high-profile individuals. 3. Testimonies. Emily Prescott's first-hand account, along with statements from Victor Larson and other witnesses. 4. Physical evidence. Items recovered from the cabin and the warehouse, including the ropes and personal items indicating Emily's captivity. Henry spent hours cross-referencing each piece of evidence, ensuring there were no gaps or inconsistencies. With the help of his colleagues, he created a comprehensive timeline that detailed the sequence of events leading up to Emily's kidnapping and the subsequent discovery of the conspiracy. As the deadline for the court hearing approached, Henry and his team worked tirelessly to prepare their case. They coordinated with the district attorney, providing all the necessary information and clarifying any questions. The aim was to build a prosecution so airtight that Charles Montgomery and his associates would have no room for maneuver. On the day of the hearing, the courtroom was packed with media, legal teams, and curious onlookers. The public interest in the case had grown immensely, given the involvement of high-profile figures and the sensational nature of the crimes. Henry took his place alongside the district attorney, feeling the weight of responsibility. Emily Prescott was seated nearby, her presence a testament to her courage and resilience. The proceedings began with the district attorney laying out the charges against Charles Montgomery and his associates. The presentation was meticulous, each piece of evidence unveiled with precision. Your Honor, the district attorney began, we present to you a case of grave misconduct and criminal activity orchestrated by Charles Montgomery. The evidence will show his involvement in illegal arms deals, money laundering, and the kidnapping of Emily Prescott. Henry watched as the financial records were displayed, showing the flow of money through various shell companies. The court saw the documents and recordings Emily had obtained, each one a nail in the coffin of Charles's defense. Emily took the stand, her voice steady as she recounted her investigation and the events leading to her kidnapping. The courtroom was silent, every word she spoke adding weight to the prosecution's case. I discovered that Charles Montgomery was using his businesses as a front for illegal arms deals, Emily testified. When I confronted him with the evidence, I realized the danger I was in. Despite my efforts to stay safe, I was abducted and held captive to prevent me from exposing the truth. Victor Larson also testified, corroborating Emily's story and detailing his interactions with Charles and the evidence he provided to her. As the prosecution laid out its case, Charles Montgomery's defense team struggled to refute the overwhelming evidence. They attempted to discredit the witnesses and question the validity of the documents, but Henry and the prosecution had anticipated these moves and were prepared with counter-arguments. In a pivotal moment, Henry took the stand to present the final pieces of evidence. He detailed the investigation, the connections between the financial records, the testimonies, and the physical evidence found at the cabin and warehouse. The evidence we have presented today paints a clear picture, Henry said, addressing the jury. Charles Montgomery orchestrated a complex network of illegal activities, and when Emily Prescott uncovered his crimes, he resorted to kidnapping and threats to silence her. But thanks to her bravery and the diligent work of law enforcement, we have been able to bring the truth to light. The courtroom was tense as the jury deliberated. Hours passed before they returned with their verdict, guilty on all counts. The room erupted in a mix of gasps and murmurs as the judge pronounced the sentence, ensuring Charles Montgomery and his associates would face significant prison time. Outside the courthouse, reporters flocked to Henry and Emily, eager for a statement. Henry spoke briefly, emphasizing the importance of justice and the dedication of his team. Emily, standing beside him, thanked the public for their support and highlighted the need for vigilance against corruption. As the crowd dispersed, Henry and Emily shared a quiet moment. "Thank you, Detective Turner," Emily said, her voice filled with gratitude. "You never gave up on finding the truth." Henry smiled, feeling a deep sense of accomplishment. "It was your courage that led us here, Emily. We couldn't have done it without you." With the case finally closed, Henry returned to his office, ready to tackle the next challenge. For now, he took a moment to reflect on the journey, knowing that justice had been served and that, in the end, truth had prevailed.